Greetings from Bitcoin Generations. We're live and we are here in the studio again in the great state of Ohio. And got a really interesting. This has been an interesting week, and not for a lot of reasons you might think, but it's been an interesting week for me. So anyway, but I won't go into all that. Just wanted to kind of get started and talk a little bit about some of the things that have got my attention this week, and just you know want to kind of put it out there for you right now, and just kind of do a little bit of housekeeping. If you like and subscribe our channel, that'd be great. But if you don't, and in fact, I think I lost a subscriber since the last time I streamed, but we're still trying to break 200 subscribers. So, we're working on it and doing what we can. But anyway, I have got some exciting things that have kind of got me passionately going, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So let's just kind of roll right into it. I would just, kind of just review the title real quick here. Do this now. Earn U.S. dollars and save in Bitcoin. Well, yeah, that's kind of the summary of the show here, and I will say that if you've got any clue about what's going on in the world of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin specifically, it's there's a lot of things happening in the background. A lot of people are buying. A lot of not people, but a lot of institutional investors, companies, private companies, nation states are stacking quietly in the background, and then we get some news today that 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 the United States may have not have nearly as much cryptocurrency, or I'm sorry, as nearly as much Bitcoin as they previously thought. They actually did a audit. No, that's amazing that they would do an audit, but they apparently did an audit and they found out that there is only 28,000 Bitcoin now, and so I just find that just kind of par for the course. Continue to let the air out of the balloon of all the different things that are going on. Try not to weigh too politically into this whole Bitcoin conversation, but I mean, you got to admit, it's July 2025. It's crypto week, according to the administration. You'd think that there might be some encouraging news, and so as of this podcast, it's interesting, but I wouldn't say it's exactly encouraging, at least from my vantage point. Now, my vantage point being, I'll take the position of the newbie person, the person who doesn't own any Bitcoin yet, and I will take that position, because Bitcoin doesn't care. Bitcoin doesn't care about the United States. It doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about me. It just goes. It does what it does, and it does it very well. And in my humble opinion, I think it's kind of designed not to be killed, not to be, it will not die. It will not, we're going to really have to try to screw up and mess some things up pretty bad to have that happen. But so with that said, there's not a whole lot that people can do to ruin it. But I'm sure we could find a way. But all that to say that, are you kidding me? The U.S. government, that's my experience of working for the U.S. government when I used to be a firefighter for them. It was hurry up and wait, and very inefficient. Lots of money used for lots of things that really shouldn't have cost that much money. It's been like this for decades. Since I was young and a firefighter on the line down in down west. It's crazy, crazy how much money they spent on fires and and I mean, you name it, whatever it is they want to spend money on, and they're paying the price for it. You know, we're paying the price for it now, and our kids are going to be paying the price for it. So anyway, the U.S. government's opinion is to go ahead and print money, and that is going to decrease our valuation for our purchasing power for the U.S. dollar. You know, it's our bed. We're lying in it. We're gonna keep lying in it unless you have an exit plan B. So that's my encouragement for today's show is to earn your dollars in U.S. dollars and to pay yourself in Bitcoin via saving, stacking, just whatever you can do. It's very simple recipe. So uh, do it now. Do it today. Do it tomorrow. Do it next week. This is something you want to just get under your belt and keep going. Keep going because nobody cares about your future as much as you do. You know, don't rely on, you know, Big Daddy Uncle Sam. Um, so with that, I will move on to some encouraging things that I have that I would say that, you know, we're going to just kind of segue into a Max Kaiser interview that he had. I'm not going to show a video of this, but I am going to show a just kind of the screen where what I'm looking at. And let me bring that up for you because I think it's worthwhile. And let's see, that's right there. And we're going to go right there and we're going to share. So here we are. And this is the summary page that we had here on this. This is an article in, some crypto magazine online. But you know, the point is that this was written today. Max Kaiser warns centralized Bitcoin holdings via ETFs and custodians could become targets in future government crackdowns. Okay, so it was reported that that the U.S. government doesn't have nearly as much Bitcoin as they thought they had. They have like 28,000 Bitcoin or something, very small, much smaller amount to the order on magnitude of like 10 times less than, or 8 times less than what they thought. So interestingly enough, in that scenario, there is more of a chance, according to Max Kaiser, that that the that ETFs and custodians like like Coinbase and some of these other large ones could become targets in the future government if there's a government crackdown. Is that going to happen? We're not there yet, so we don't know. But this is and then beyond that, institutional Bitcoin adoption by firms like MicroStrategy triggers concern over economic warfare and state retaliation. Okay, yeah. So, could there be some rug pulls like this on the part of the government? Maybe. But do you have to worry about this if you self-custody your Bitcoin? No, you don't, because they don't have to know where it is. They don't have to be able to get access to it. But if it's on an exchange, they can freeze the exchange, they can freeze your asset, and you're in a vulnerable place. So why do we say self-custody in cold storage? Because that is the safest place for it to be. He goes on, Max Kaiser goes on to, he stresses the importance of self-custody for Bitcoin owners, claiming non-custodial Bitcoin is vulnerable to confiscation. In other words, if you don't have your keys and somebody else does, like the custodian, like the name of the company that I just mentioned, they can freeze your asset. And that's not good for you. So take it seriously. This guy is pretty on the ball. He's very, very very unpopular in some circles, feisty and very unpopular in some ways, but extremely, extremely early, very, very early in Bitcoin, like 2011. That kind of early that's early. Okay, moving on. So again, now these are some of the basics, but you got to know why some of this stuff is happening. And I'm going to go into BTC Prague was the Bitcoin conference in Prague, Czechoslovakia was recently, and I've been listening to some of the podcasts, but there was one that I listened to that I wanted to share. Just a short clip of it, and I'm going to go ahead and do that because I'm kind of like this underlines the point of the title of the podcast. Okay, the difference between strong money and weak money, strong currency and weak currency. Okay, so this is an interesting little story that he's going to tell. This is Dominic Frisby, and he's written some books back in the teens of Bitcoin. And we're going to listen to that real quick here. So I'm going to move on there. We're going to share this tab right here. And you're going to see this right here. Okay. All right. Are we ready? Let's do it. He's from England, so let's give him a listen.
I'm going to tell you a little story now. I'm part Italian, part English. And there's an Italian community in London. We all know each other. And my friend's grandparents were what they called contadini, peasants. And they worked on the land. They were what's called mezzadri. The English word would be sharecroppers. And basically, they were the descendants of the serf. Do you have serfs in the Czech Republic? Did you have them? Serfs were like the descendants of slaves. And they were tied to the land, and half the week they would work. They were allowed to work for the landowner, and half of everything they produced they had to give to the landowner, and the other half they could sell. And that's how they made their money. And they had been doing this for hundreds and hundreds of years. And then in the 1960s, Mum and Dad came to London, and they worked as waiters in London. And in those days, waiting was a cash job. And so you didn't pay any tax. But the Italian lira was one of the worst currencies in the whole world. They kept having to print zeros. And at the time, the English pound was a relatively strong currency. And so they were working and earning a strong currency in the UK. And after 3 years, just 3 years, they went back to Italy, and with the money they had earned, they bought themselves an apartment. And they were the first people in the entire history of this family to own any kind of real estate. For centuries, they'd just been sharecroppers on the land, contadini. And they carried on working in the UK and saving. And eventually, after 6 years, they bought the land on which they had previously been mezzadri. They totally transformed their social status and the social status that had been in place for generations. And they did this by one simple mechanism. They worked and saved in strong currencies, and they spent in weak ones. Now, pretty much any fiat currency you care to mention today is a weak currency. Obviously, some are better than others, but most of them are rubbish. And we have Bitcoin and we have gold, which are both strong currencies. And so the message of this story is, even if you earn in rubbish currencies, transform your money as quickly as you can into strong currency and save in that. And over a few years, you will transform your social status, even if you have a shit job.
Okay. That right there is enough. Okay. But I think let this play a little bit more. I think that makes the point very well. The the bad currency, US dollar. The strong currency, Bitcoin.
That's my newsletter, and you should all subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What is the most expensive purchase?
Okay. No, that's enough. That's enough on that. I 100% agree with this guy, and this is a great point to make here, and that is that you know, we are not. This is not a game. We are in this to win, and because our families depend on us, we have to save in Bitcoin. And I say that because it's like, well, if somebody has a question about that, I would be like, well, how's it been going with your savings in US dollars? What's happening in the purchasing power of your US dollars? That was the strongest currency, right? It's better than any other currency there is. And it's like only gold is better, right? Bitcoin doesn't have any value or anything. Well, like what happens when the price of gold goes up? The price of gold goes up, they increase the production of gold. And then you've got more supply on the market, and the price makes its way back to, it just doesn't make any sense. So, why would you save in something that they can just make more of? They can make more gold. They can get more gold out of the ground. They can print more dollars. Dollars are the easiest thing to print. So, again, and I say this in the background. You got to know what's happening in the background with you're not seeing is these companies, these nation states, they are buying a ton of Bitcoin. And you're not buying that much. Even if you're stacking like crazy, you're a retail investor, you're not stacking that much. Okay. Now you want to get as much as you can. Get as much as you can. Within reason. But was it be a good idea to save US dollars? No. Would it be a good idea to save gold or buy gold? Well, like how well do you trust the gold party that has the gold that's issuing you in a certificate for it? How trustworthy is that? Okay, there's counterparty risk. All right. So anyway, I think I've made the point here. Buy Bitcoin, save your earnings and your energy in Bitcoin. This is what's going to power the AI economy that's coming. And in 5 years, you are not going to recognize the workforce. There's going to be very few people working the way that they are working now. Yeah, I know. It doesn't seem like the change is coming that fast. It's coming fast. It's here now, and you don't see it, but it is coming into a street near you, to a house near you, to a business near you. This stuff is all under the radar, and it's so. So what would I say, to somebody who's looking at, like, well, how do I save in Bitcoin? Well, I've got some referral links in the show notes for 4 platforms that I recommend that I use. There's referral links there. And there's a couple of wallets. There's links there too for those, Speed Wallet and Aqua. And I'm getting used to more wallets to get some more information out there for you on those. But it's a lot. There's a lot to cover on these topics, and so I don't recommend anything that I'm not really familiar with, and I think that's the way to go. As far as cold storage, I think you need to learn how to stack Bitcoin first, and then you can figure out how to get it off an exchange and into a safer place. But we can teach you about that. that would be something where, you want to contact the bitcoincitadel.net. And bitcoincitadel.net is some excellent folks there to help. They help me. And so I recommend, contacting them, bitcoincitadel.net. Let's move on to, so we covered that. Let's go to, we went to over here. And now we're going to go, I want to, this is sort of like a segue into a really an encouraging thing. And I just want to, I'm gonna play this guy. He's Surf City in El Salvador, and he's got about 3 minutes on a podcast that I want to stream of his that I thought was really just kind of like, it was nice. It was very, very encouraging, and I want to do that. All right. So here we go. All right. So here he is. Ready?
The best financial education anyone could buy. And your ticket to entry is whatever you can afford to stack, and it'll change your life. And I really mean it'll change your life. Like, no joke, not just in a material way, because I believe that once you understand Bitcoin and you start to realize that no matter how many coins you have, even if it's a fraction of a coin, that is going to lead to dollar value that you may not have ever thought you could ever achieve. So from wherever you start, once you grok Bitcoin, you realize where you're going. And when you realize where you're going, you start to feel wealthy. You start to feel abundant. It's just a matter of time. The abundance is coming. The wealth is coming. It's just a matter of time. That is such a massive shift in your mindset that you begin to attract other positive things into your life. I was telling this to somebody the other day, like, remember when you were dating, right? You're in college and you're dating. Well, whenever you had a girlfriend, all the other girls wanted to date you, right? It's that mind shift, right? It's the vibe you give off. Like, I'm good. I'm the man. I have got a great relationship. I've got my girl. And now every other girl wants to be a part of that. Once you make that shift and you understand that Bitcoin is going to create wealth for you, it's going to create abundance for you, you start to attract wealth and abundance from all angles. It's a complete shift in your energy and what you attract. It also gives you like this mindset of like, you want me to do what? I don't need to do that. I don't have to do that for a paycheck. I think maybe I'll do something else, because as long as I'm stacking Bitcoin, I'm going to be good. I'm getting to where I need to go. It's a massive shift, and I can't recommend it highly enough for everybody, right? If you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you feel like you're never going to get ahead, this is the way. This is how to break that cycle, right? This is whether it's $10 a week, $25 a week, $100, whatever it is. This will break your cycle, and you will be on a completely different trajectory. And that is, I want everybody to feel that. Like, it really upgrades humanity in a massive way. And some people have talked about that and figured it out. I just like, it's for real.
Okay. Thank you for bearing with me through that. I really appreciated his passion in there and his understanding. This is I've got another thing that I've got to show you. Well, it's now actually it's not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna basically I'm gonna explain this. So in the world of assets, we have a big pile of assets. It's all the assets in the entire world. I'm going to make some very large numbers. I'm going to just kind of not be exact, but fairly close. So let's just say there's $900 trillion worth of assets. Okay. And Bitcoin is only 2 trillion of that. Okay, little tiny. When you have a bunch of assets that are tied up in real estate, say to the tune of 300 trillion plus, and you have a bunch of assets that are tied up in, say, bonds, let's say 300 trillion plus, and you have a bunch of assets that are tied up in treasuries, and let's just say it's 250 trillion or so plus, and you have these other ones that are like, gold is like 22 trillion or something like that, and you have all art and all these things. All this stuff adds up to about $900 trillion worth of assets around the world for everything. And gold has been around for a long time, and it has about 23 trillion worth of capital market cap. But the thing is that it's limited in what it can do. It cannot scale, and it failed as the gold standard failed back in when Franklin Delano Roosevelt was president. But what the point I'm trying to make is that when you have an asset like Bitcoin that can scale, that is movable across borders, that you cannot print more of, there's only 21 million. When you have that, you have a setup for actually all those other assets are going to get tired of a 10% or a 6% return. The owners of those assets are tired of that. They are seeing Bitcoin. Bitcoin is on the radar of everybody who's got a lot of money. It's definitely on the radar. And now there's a lot of different spectrum of people that are, not interested in moving, or not interested in going over into a cryptocurrency, or the first cryptocurrency, which was Bitcoin. But there are some, and they are coming. Okay, they are coming. And when you think about how much, like just, like half, let's say half of all of those assets someday, at some point, maybe 10 years, I don't know how long. It's not going to take them long to figure it out. Once this suddenly really, really is on us, and it's like, oh my, it's like an avalanche. It doesn't happen, the buildup to it does. The buildup happens pretty slowly, but once an avalanche gives way, man, it's Katie bar the door, man. It's get out of the way, because this thing is coming, and it'll take you out and bury you. So, and ask me how I know about avalanches. I've seen them, haven't been buried in one, but all that to say that if you take half of all those assets, and let's say that's $450 trillion, and then you divide that by all the assets, you put that all into Bitcoin, what do you think is going to happen to the price? You put all that demand for the price. It's almost difficult to comprehend. And I would say not almost, but difficult to comprehend. It's absolutely astounding. And I don't know that any of us can really, really comprehend exactly how big that's going to be. Nothing else, none of the other cryptocurrencies hold a candle to Bitcoin. None of the other assets on the face of the earth that I just mentioned that are in that picture, real estate, bonds, nothing holds a candle. Nothing holds equal weight with Bitcoin. And it's just a matter of time. And because we're human, you don't think of it like, okay, it's a technology. Well, it is a technology, but who's in charge of the technology? Who's moving the technology? Okay, people behind it with their money, with their decisions on what they're going to buy, and they do not want to be left behind. The people who know do not want to be left behind. Okay, nobody does. So what do? You move, you stack humbly, you just keep going. You keep going and you expect adversity. You expect things to screw up. You're going to, if you got to make sure that you don't want to screw up your keys to your coins. Because if you lose your keys to your coins, if you don't have the keys to your coins, you're not going to have your coins. You're not going to have your Satoshis. So I love my friend Jerry, and he's probably streaming right now. So Jerry, I'm sorry if we've kind of overlapped here, but I will tell you the thing that Jerry says is to get 1,000,000 sats. Get 1,000,000 sats. That's a goal. If you can get 1,000,000 sats, that's great. But if you can't get 1,000,000 sats, and you can just put a little bit daily cost, daily dollar cost average every day, put a little bit. How much? $2, $5, but a little bit each day. It gives you some peace of mind that I'm stacking. I'm stacking in Bitcoin. And I sit here and I'm, pontificating, but I'm telling you, my daughter is doing this. I've mentioned her before. She's actually spoken here on Bitcoin Generations with me. She's not on camera, but she's going to be. I keep saying she's going to be, but trying to work that out so we can have more interaction with her, so you can see the next generation, and they had no hope to have, to own a house. They had no hope to save in something that the purchasing power is just melting like an ice cube. There was nothing else. What else is there? You're going to buy real estate with, on, minimum wage? Come on, you can't do that. But you know what? You can stack with a absolute crap job. You can stack. I don't care if you working at Steak and Shake. And I told this guy that was over there, and I helped him. I helped him get a wallet, and I sent him some sats. And I said to him, hey man, whatever you do, never sell your Bitcoin. And you know what he's doing? He's still got it. He's still got it, and he understands. And I go in there once in a while. I'm buying a hamburger for my son. And because I'm not trying not to do the fast food process stuff, but I will say that he is doing what he can, and that's what we need to do. We need to encourage others to do what they can, to stay humble. And if you're not humble, Bitcoin will find a way to humble you. So I would say let's just keep trying to stack in a good and humble way that we can. Also kind of want to like share just another guy that I learned about. This story is cool. I mean, this guy is he is living it every day. Okay. And I'm just surprised at some of the stuff that I've seen, that I've learned from him. And I'm going to bring him up. And this guy is a pretty amazing guy. All right. So he's on X. I'm going to share this right now. He goes by Murph's Life. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but let's see, where is that? Nope, it's right there. Okay, here we go. All right. He's also on YouTube. He was an influencer. You may have seen this guy. He's in El Salvador. He has a farm that he's constructing. They're building. They're growing food. They're making compost. They're building residential structures. He's building out this farm. I believe the name of it's going to be Bitcoin Mountain, I believe is what it's going to be called. But and I don't know why I'm not subscribed here. I am subscribed to him. Oh, I see. Okay, I can subscribe, but I'm following him. Okay, so let's go down here. Let me read this. Let me read this to you. This last week was one of the most stressful in my career, building our foundation here in El Salvador. Over and over, People tried to squeeze every last dollar out of us while we were pouring our hearts into finishing this farm. A few nights ago, I stood in the shower, water pouring down, and just thought, what am I doing? What's the purpose of all this? Why am I putting myself through hell to make this happen? Then my mind drifted to my daughter, Sisa. She's my why. I want to show her that even when people take advantage of your kindness, when they rob you, steal from you, flip your world upside down, you never give up. Life throws trials, failures hit hard, but we always have a choice. Say, this is too hard and quit, or push through to the end. We finish what we start. Okay. Now, our lives are a precious gift from God. He gives us the chance to do really hard things, to suffer, sit in our anxieties, feel our minds race and bodies tense up. It's beautiful in a raw way because it's how we experience life fully on this earth in ways our souls might not otherwise know. God has blessed me with the strength to keep going, even when I explode like we all do sometimes. We say things we don't mean, hurt others or ourselves without realizing. But isn't that a part of life's purpose? For me, it is. I embrace it fully. I'm grateful for how it stretches my soul and leads me to new places. We took a much needed day off to pick up Carolina's sister and cousin from Ecuador. We headed to a restaurant for a bite and they said, "It's on the house. Thank you for what you do." Little miracles like that, they prove the world is full of amazing humans. Shout out to La Jolla Villas for showing my family so much love. If you're visiting El Salvador, hit up one of the only spots that's ever covered our tab. It's worth it. So the farm isn't just a project. It's a legacy of self-sufficiency for families in need, like the hundreds we've already elevated from poverty. If stories like this inspire you, join us, donate, share, or come build with us at murphslifefoundation.com and keep pushing through the hard stuff together. And this is just some of the stuff that they've built and they're working on down there. They're building this on the side of a mountain. It looks beautiful, and I will tell you, this is just the beginning of the stuff I'm going to share with you regarding him. The work that they do is I don't have time to go into it right now, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is something you're going to see more of. I'm actually making plans to try to go down there and volunteer because I'm not a person that like sits around and just I like to get in. I like to do things. And with that, I'm going to share something that I think, I've talked a lot about, living out your faith. I've talked about this, and I'm just going to tell you, you're going to see something right here. If I can bring it up, and I didn't plan on sharing this, but I will because it's just precious. You need to see this. You need to see what living out your faith looks like. Doing hard things. My wife could speak to this. She's I do not deserve her. But I'm going to show you a little tiny bit of, and actually I probably should just I'm just going to show you like what I posted in regard to this thing. And this was a response that I did. And so I'm just going to read this. I'm going to read this, and I hope you like it. I hope it goes well. And this is somebody that's very special to me. And I've thought about this for quite a while. I don't know that I should share it, but I want to. I want to because she is one of the most amazing people in my life. And I think you're going to get something out of this. So here we go. Let's see if I can find her on here. That's funny. No, it's not going to be easy to do. I see. Actually, I can do it. Let me just bear with me. Bear with me. Hang in there. I'm going to find a way to get this done. All right. Hey, stand by. Stand by. Red 7, standing by. All right. Let's see. I put those on there. And like this. Oh, goodness. Oh. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here it is. Oh, my goodness. I needed something to make me smile today. Yeah. And this person, she makes me smile. So let me get this on. Let me expand this. Yeah, we can do this. I can do this. All right. So remember the thing that I just showed you. Okay. Well, this is man, I am just like all over the map today. All right. All right. Got it. Okay, here we are. So I posted in response to this guy, I posted this on X. And I know I'm a Noster guy. I post on Noster too, but this was on X. Okay. After what he wrote, after what he just heartfelt post that this guy did, I said, brother, let me encourage you. I recently learned about you and the mission of Murph's life. The work you do is important to generations that haven't arrived yet. Give no audience to the adversity, the naysayers, the negativity. The spiritual battle rages, and the evil one does not like this work being done. Be vigilant and root out evil wherever it lurks. You can let me know specifically how to pray for you if you like. You have also adopted tells me a ton about you. I am also in this adoption journey. Wife, 6 wonderful kids, and yeah, I have a career of service. Pictured is my Latina princess right here, Melina, and with her sister over here. Here she is folding socks like mommy showed her. This is homeschooling, by the way. We hope to do similar work to reach more than our family. I am working on to come down to volunteer at your farm for a few days in September, and I would love to meet you and Marco, the compost guy. Your mission is important and the laborers are few. So check this out. This is
This was Melina's artwork yesterday.
okay. There you go. All that for just that. Do you remember Con Marie? Do you remember her, how she teaches people how to fold their socks and make everything nice and organized in their bedrooms? My wife taught her this. Oh, she brings tears to my eyes. I'm telling you what, this little girl right here, both, well, all of them, right? Just amazing. Amazing. I can't tell you enough I know it's not easy for you guys who don't have kids yet, or you're, like, how do we do this? We can't afford it. No, you can. You can figure it out. Have some kids. Lord willing, pray for kids in your life if you don't have some. Oh my gosh. Man, I tell you what, I don't know anything more authentic than what I'm trying to share with you right now. This is just so important. You think that Bitcoin's important. Man, Bitcoin ain't important if you don't have anybody to share it with. Yeah, that's why you want to do Bitcoin for future generations, right? Do it. Buy some, stack some. Earn money in US dollars and stack in strong money. Bitcoin. Okay. All right. We got 45 minutes in. I don't think that that I'm going to go any further tonight. I am really thankful for the opportunity to be able to do this. And I would say that right up here, the little QR code goes to my Strike wallet. If you find any value in this and you want to send some Bitcoin, feel free. Don't feel obligated. This is a this kind of feel like this is kind of a public service that I do. This channel it's for my future generations of Bitcoiners, but it's also for all of y'all, your Bitcoiners. And I mean, there's so many people we haven't met yet. There's so many little ones that are coming. Lord, I'll pray for more little ones. Man, I tell you what, we have got to protect the little ones at all costs. Protect them. And I don't care who you are, protect your little ones. Keep an eye on them. Watch them. Be careful with them. Don't let them go places they shouldn't go by themselves. I don't care. I have got probably the worst reputation for keeping an eye on people that are under my care. And I don't care, man. I've worked the streets. I have seen with my own eyes, not even on the streets, but with my own eyes, I have seen, I'm just going to say, I have seen like really bad things. Okay. And I'm just telling you, just take care of your little ones. Take care of them. I'm telling you, do it. All right. So I'm just so thankful to be able to be here and share with some of these things with you all tonight. I wanted to say that, the videos and the things that I just shared with you, I learned about Murph's life, and his foundation, through kind of some other people in Bitcoin. But, just shout out to him for kind of being I really do think he's trying to be a good steward of what the Lord has given him, and sharing, I don't know, wealth, sharing things with people who are in need, people who are absolutely unable to do it by themselves. They can't. They're doing everything they can, and they can't get it. They can't get it all done. They can't. Yeah. Okay. We're going to see more on that. I'm going to bring up some more video. I'm going to share some stuff with you. And I'm going to encourage people to consider going to El Salvador if you want with me. I don't know. I've never done this before, but I'm committed to going. I really want to go. I've got the green light here in Ohio for that, and I'm going to go. I'm going to do this, and we are going to. At least I am going to do some amazing stuff. Just trying to just build what I can, do what I can with my own hands and with my own efforts. And then if anybody might be interested in heading down there for something like that, well, great. I know that they could use, some help. And with that, I'm just going to kind of keep this short, almost just under 50 minutes. Just so thankful for everybody. And, it's the small things. I got some news this week that I wasn't, some medical history kind of stuff that was like, oh, I don't like that. But I want to say thanks for for Pipeline podcast showing up, and Buck 52,000. He was here. I don't know if he's still here. Adam and Adam and yeah, sweating and smiling together. So great to see you all. Appreciate your time and effort. This is one of the things we're gonna just continue to keep going. I know I'm usually streaming on Thursdays at 2. Sometimes that's a really hard time for me to get things rolling, but I'm going to continue to try to do that. And anyway, yeah, I just I like doing kind of live shows, just all different kinds of times and days. But anyway, it's better to be consistent, and I'm going to try to keep doing that. But you're going to see more content as well. So thanks for coming by, and appreciate you guys. I'm just humbled to share some of these things with you, and to Murph's life. These guys that are slugging it out, really trying to do. I cannot wait to tell you some of these stories that some things that he's doing. It's fabulous. It's really fabulous, and you have to trust me on that. But don't trust, verify. Anyway, this is not financial advice, and I'm thankful for to be able to sit here and do this. And anyway. We're going to continue to bring content, and let us know in the show notes if there's anything, or the comments, if there's anything you want to see, any questions you have, anything that maybe you want to meet my daughter. She's pretty amazing, and she's stacking she's stacking probably better than me right now. But anyway, all that's going to be coming. So thanks again, and you guys have a great rest of your evening, and take care.